Hello, and welcome to Forgotten Frights. I'm Josh, and I'm sitting here with Adam.
Hey, what's going on?
Today on the podcast, we are watching the 1971 horror film, The Abominable Dr. Phibes, directed by Robert Fuest. Faust. It's got to be Faust. I'm going with it. Written by James Whitten and William Goldstein, and starring Vincent Price, Joseph Cotten, Hugh Griffith, Terry Thomas, and Virginia North. Dr. Phibes tells the story of Dr. Anton Phibes, who executes his revenge against a group of English doctors guilty of wronging him. Here's the trailer.
What lovely music. For a murder, or 2, or 3, or 9.
Who's this?
Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to meet a dear friend.
9 killed you. 9 shall die.
Your wife, no, Phibes. But you I will kill.
But you can't, Doctor. I am already dead.
Here, how are we going to get him off this? You take his head, and I'll take his feet. Let's unscrew him.
Dr. Phibes, who samples the finer things of life. In his own inimitable way. And experiments with fascinating instruments of death.
The what, sir? The guitar. The 10 curses visited upon the pharaohs before Exodus. 9 shall die. 9 eternities in doom. The curse of boils, of bats. Frogs? Frogs, yes. And the curse of blood. Curse of hail in the bloody middle of nowhere.
Are you ready for Dr. Phibes?
Probably the most terrifying motion picture you'll ever see.
All right, Adam, that was the shocking trailer to The Abominable Dr. Phibes. What did you think?
It was good. It was good. Good trailer.
Good. Yes, good trailer. We're reviewing this movie today, but it's a horror comedy is what it's sold as, I guess.
Oh, really? It's sold that way.
Yes, it seems like there was, I mean, even in like descriptions, I guess, and I suppose I can only go off of, Wikipedia, but describes it as a horror comedy. And there's some evidence of that with the way they advertise the film as well. I was just going to ask you what you thought about the horror comedy genre, because I enjoy it, but what are your thoughts?
I think if it's done right, it's great. But I mean, I've also seen horror comedies where it tries to smack you across the face, and I don't know. But I feel like bad comedy is the hardest genre to try to get through. It's real tough.
Yeah. I was the list I put together was like Zombieland, Shaun of the Dead, Death Becomes Her, and an episode that will eventually happen on this podcast, the Comedy of Terrors.
Yeah. Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness.
Yeah, so there's
Slither.
Until I was really looking at it this morning, I was like, there's so many of those movies I really, really love. I guess the main issue I have is more so that I don't feel like this movie's in that genre.
I mean, there's definite comedy
Yeah.
and humorous things that happen in the movie, but yeah, some of these movies, it's like the tone switches so violently from one side to the other that it's like, how am I supposed to feel?
Literally violently.
Yeah,
it'll go from just like hee hee ha ha to somebody being brained.
Yeah.
Straight away. I have taglines here. Would you like to hear some of the taglines?
Yes.
All right, the first one is, he came back from the dead for revenge with 9 diabolical curses. Bees, bats, beasts, blood, frogs, hail, locusts, darkness, death. The abominable Dr. Phibes. The abominable Dr. Phibes. The most terrifying film you will ever see.
A little wordy. I
Yeah.
mean, and on top of that, I think there's 10 curses. I don't know why I guess, well, we're going to spoil the whole movie, but yeah, I guess there are 9 for the
Yes.
doctors and the nurse and then one
extra. Yeah, I don't think they, something we'll get to later, but yeah, they don't really articulate that super well, I think, of the movie. There's a couple of exposition-y parts where they kind of explain it. I mean, you're still left just being like, oh, okay.
Yeah. The end,
that's what it was, huh?
The end of that tagline, 100% confirmed. It is the scariest movie I've ever seen.
Okay. That's, you hold on to that tagline for the next film as well, because there's some competition going on apparently in what is the scariest film you've ever seen. Next tagline, probably the most terrifying film you will ever see. Probably. So are they doing that for laughs?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh. I like that one a lot better.
Probably the most terrifying. Yeah. So I think they're doing that for laughs, right?
Yeah. Take it or leave it. We don't care.
We don't care. Number 3, 9 gruesome curses.
Good. Yeah, I like that.
This one is, I think this is the best one. Revenge is the best medicine.
Yeah.
I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
If I saw that, I don't put anything else on any poster.
If you could somehow slide like some organ stuff in there too, like, I mean, just so you get every part of it, like revenge, medicine, and then also a lot of organ playing.
Yeah, revenge is the best medicine, and a sour note is never played, or something.
And probably the scariest movie you've ever seen.
I feel like with there's quite a few films like this, but you hear something like revenge is the best medicine, and my immediate assumption is somebody heard that and then worked backwards to make the film.
Yeah,
because it fits so appropriately.
Yeah.
Love means never having to say you're ugly.
Now that one I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
I think that I saw a poster or something, and there was something behind that too. Like there was another movie that came out about the same time, and it was like love means never having to say goodbye or I'm sorry.
Yes.
So I think it was I'm the whole horror comedy part of it. I think it even starts with the tagline there,
which that's like almost slapstick.
It is.
And then you watch the movie and you're like, this isn't. There's people like melting in this movie.
Right. Yeah.
The last one. Oh no, that is 2. Okay, I'm gonna do these in reverse. So the next one is, there are 2 sides to Dr. Phibes, both of them evil.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
My favorite, I don't think it's fitting, but my favorite of them outside of revenge is the best medicine. Dr. Phibes has great vibes.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that too. It feels like he's like playing guitar at like a coffee shop.
Well, he's playing the organ and people.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, of course. Maybe he's a keytar.
Oh, that would be a key organ. A corgan.
A corgan?
Are you ready to get into the film, Adam?
I am.
Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can change this just so I know it. Okay. Now we're talking. Now we're moving. One other thing is, how do I do that? Hold on. No, that's not how I want to do that. Why can't I remember? Please help me. Well, all right, let's get into this movie. It opens on Dr. Phibes, I should say a cloaked, hooded figure, just slaying the organ.
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt like him playing. So Dr. Phibes in this movie has like a terrible taste in music, I think, because it sounds like baseball, like music you'd hear at like a baseball stadium.
Yeah.
It's very, and maybe that's just like organ music of the time.
Maybe.
Maybe that's just the style came in and then it went. He's playing and he's got the Clockwork Wizards, which is his like animatronic band that's playing on a band shell behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Did you get any like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch kind of animatronic, or maybe it was just me kind of? It's just because you have the robot people.
No, I've always thought that the Clockwork Wizard, or are they the Clockwork Wizards?
That's what I saw.
All right. I always thought that the aesthetic was very cool.
Yeah.
My wife watched the movie with me, and she was very put off. This movie puts her off.
Oh, really?
Like, she does not like to watch it at all. I've watched this movie several times in the past. This is the first time I've watched this movie that I realized that it was set in the 20s.
Yeah, so I just found that,
And so I guess, maybe the music makes more sense. Maybe, just aesthetically, even the way that the robots look. The set design of Phibes' area in many different scenes, some of the coolest looking stuff in the movie, but I thought it was a cool aesthetic. Like that whole organ area where it kind of like elevates up and down and that whole thing. Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, and his animatronics have like, I mean, it's clearly people in like weird masks, but it's done in such a way that you could tell it's like an artistic choice.
They look like nutcrackers almost.
Yeah, definitely a little creepy. So he's got a female assistant, Volvania, I believe is her name.
Volnavia? Yeah, something like that.
Volvania or Volnavia, something.
Volnavia, yeah.
Well, we pretty quickly, in one of the cool things about this movie is it very quickly gets into the murders. So straight away we have Dr. Phibes is playing his organ, and then we cut to the first doctor,
Dunwoody.
Yeah, you'll have to help me with these names because I forgot to jot them down.
Yeah.
But the first doctor is sleeping in bed, and you kind of have what do you call those windows above? The same
like a
one.
skylight.
Yeah, skylight.
Yeah.
And that opens, and a big covered cage lowers slowly into the room.
Now, I'm trying to remember, because they show this several times in the movie, but I believe before they get there, and maybe this is the reveal, and I'm going ahead too far, but I do want to point out that the window with Phibes' profile on the window of the car is tremendous.
That's something I was going to touch on later because I didn't notice it until later in the film.
Okay.
Like, this is such a cool car.
Yeah, I don't remember if they show Volnavia and Phibes leaving to go to that house to...
I think that it pulls up.
Okay.
There's... What is she, like, playing the violin? I don't know if she's doing that early on.
I can't remember. But yes, anyway, go on.
So the cage lowers down, and then the doctor kind of wakes up after the cage raises again, and Dr. Phibes pulls it up and closes the skylight. And the doctor's kind of looking around, and you see shadows kind of dancing around the room. You don't really see what it is. And then suddenly there's like a giant bat on his chest, and he freaks out. And then there's more bats everywhere.
Yeah, they're crawling around on him.
And they're crawling around all over him. And then it cuts away. I think when it comes back, he's all covered in blood, and the bats have scratched him to death.
Yeah, his butler comes in the next morning and discovers his slashed up face.
Yep, and he died of
bat bites.
He got rabies and died.
Yep.
He's like, the bat bites weren't so bad.
It was those rabies.
Yes, he slept on the rabies was his problem. He'd never go to sleep after.
Well, I'm a little tired. I think I'm going to take a nap, and then I'm going to go to the doctor.
That happens when people hit their head. They go and lay down, and it also happens when people get bitten by bats. They go lay down, and I actually don't know if that's true, but this guy for sure.
Well, because you're constantly waving around to get the bats out of the house, so you're like, boy, I am tuckered out.
I got to go lay down.
Yeah. But then I'll go to the doctor.
Yes, I go in the morning, and then you don't wake up.
You fold your arms across your chest.
Yeah, I'll point that out later. The type of bat, it was very...
I thought they were adorable.
They're docile.
Yeah, they're very cute.
Let's just talk about it. They're called flying foxes.
Yeah, they're very cute.
They're really like docile, cute, and they eat fruit. So they don't even like drink blood or anything. They just kind of like, And he like lifted the blanket, and it was like, hey, it looked very cute. Yeah, it was
got
very
an apple?
adorable. Yeah. So now we cut to Dr. Phibes and the recurring thing. He's got a necklace that's in Hebrew.
Yep.
And he places it around a wax statue.
Like a bust
of the doctor he just murdered. What do you say?
Dunwoody.
Dunwoody.
Yep.
And then he takes a blowtorch and melts the...
Yeah, just starts burning his face.
I think this is cool. I don't know why he does this. I don't know what the point of that is, but I think it's cool.
This feels...
tacked on.
Well, it's similar. Yeah. There's what I'm starting. You and I talked a little bit yesterday, and there's a through line with a lot of these Vincent Price movies that I never recognized before. Where it's like there's a lot of these movies where it's just like one after the other, a different way that they're murdered, and I still dig it.
It's theater of blood.
Yeah,
it's theater of blood, right? So previous movie that we covered on the podcast, he was wronged by critics in that movie, and then he goes through and he does there's a series of bizarre and baffling murders. And if I remember right, Vincent Price was like, that was like his favorite movie to do.
Theater of Blood was?
Yeah, because
that's cool.
he got to fence.
Yeah.
He got to use Shakespeare.
That's a good flick. Yeah.
So he just like loved that he got to bring in all of his
That's
interests.
right. Yeah.
But I'm like, Dr. Phibes is like the same movie.
It kind of is.
It kind of is. So I don't know.
I don't remember. I think Theater of Blood was after Phibes.
Yeah, because it was later in his... Yeah.
The funny part is there is no Theater of Blood 2, but it's like, oh man, we should make a second one of these Phibes movies.
Yes, yeah, because I couldn't remember. All I could think is it Dr. Phibes Rides Again? Rises, yeah.
Or Again?
I think there's an Ernest movie named Ernest Rides Again. So I was like, is Dr. Phibes riding as well? Yeah, the wax thing, I just don't... All I can think is like Dr. Phibes is like me and he has a hard time keeping track of things.
Maybe.
So the best possible thing you could do is physically make wax busts of these doctors and then burn them with a torch.
Well, he also puts the amulet that describes the curse that he just did to the person around the bust's neck.
Yes, and those are those necklaces in Hebrew.
Yes.
From what I understand. I can't read Hebrew. I don't know if that's Hebrew. That's just what I read.
No clue. It's what it's
But that
described.
has the curse on it.
Yep.
And then his curse was...
Bats.
Yep. The curse of bats.
Yep.
Now, I also can't remember... Well, we'll get there. So the doctor's been killed. We immediately go to another man. One of my favorite segments, because it reminded me of Saw.
Yeah.
And I didn't even really like the Saw movies, but it was, the contraption is so abominable.
Yeah.
So it's so, what's the word I want to use here? It's devious.
Yeah, you said it reminded you of Saw. It kind of reminded me of Wind in the Willows.
Okay, yeah.
But not like a dark version.
Mr. Toad.
Yeah, we're gonna get this guy's license revoked one way or the other.
Yeah, so he's
recroaked.
Oh god,
I'm sorry.
The Wind in the Willows recroaked. He's jumping mad. He's hopping mad. He's hopping mad.
That's
he's
right.
hopping mad.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
Hey, we're all doing it. Okay. There's like a party going on, and
this doctor's name is Hargreaves.
Yeah. Vincent Price is at this party, and I don't even know. Soon after this section, you start to see kind of Vincent Price's face, and I think that's I think it's like an achievement of this film is the fact that Vincent Price looks like he's wearing a mask, but it's just his face.
Yeah, and I don't remember time-wise in the movie, but at one point you see like a prosthetic nose and prosthetic ears on a tray.
Yes.
And you don't see him applying them, but then you see Vincent Price's his mask, quote unquote mask, because it's covering his scarred face. But I don't remember if that happens. We see that before.
I think it's early on.
Okay.
And it might actually be right before he goes to the party.
Okay, so we're aware that he has prosthetics on his face to cover up some horrible injury.
And I think a medieval monastery wig. He looks like a monk who has to cut his own hair.
Yeah.
It's such a bad wig.
He's got an assistant.
He has worn this type of wig so many times that I am almost convinced it's his real hair because it's such a bad wig.
Yeah.
But he's at a party. He's wearing a mask. He runs into the next doctor that he is going to kill.
Hargreaves.
Hargreaves, and gives him it's like a big frog mask that goes over his head.
It's a really cool frog mask.
Yes.
And Vincent Price Phibes is wearing a crazy like bird mask.
Yes. Yeah, whatever they call those, like a masquerade kind of.
Yep.
Everybody's wearing a mask, and the doctor puts the frog mask on, and Vincent Price is kind of like helping him out from behind it, like, oh, I got it, don't worry.
Everybody's drinking, having a good time at this party. Yep.
And then you start to see the mechanism like ticking behind the mask, which is just kind of like a vice. It's like a wheel that is like slowly tightening the mask as the guy is wearing it.
It's similar to like a pipe clamp, where it's like if you screw the pipe clamp, it gets tighter and tighter and tighter. Yeah.
And I thought the reason I liked it is because it was surprising, because I thought it was going to be it was going to strangle him and then he'd fall over. This thing appears to be crushing his head within the mask itself. And he makes it like partway up these stone stairs and then does this kind of fall that turns into a comedic fall where he's like sliding on his butt at the bottom of the stairs. And the whole time Vincent Price is just watching and loving it. And the
guy's stumbling up the stairs, but everybody's drinking, having a good time. So everybody's kind of like oh, he's had too much to drink, whatever.
And it's like his POV too, so he's like, it just looks crazy. Yeah. And then eventually it's, a shot of his still body at the bottom of the stairs and blood coming out of the mask. And just cool scene.
Yep.
Just kind of a interesting death anyway. So now we go to the third and Randy Doctor, who is...
Now, we have not gone to Inspector Trout with the first Doctor. Did that not happen yet?
That's my next note is Inspector Trout.
Okay,
so I don't know if it happens. It either happens right before this or it's right after.
It doesn't matter. Well, let's just go to, so the Randy Doctor was Longstreet.
Okay, Longstreet.
And the curse that we just saw was frogs.
Yeah. And this next one is Randy. That's blood.
But,
Randy pictures.
Yeah. And Terry Thomas, I have to say, before you start with this.
Yes, this is Terry Thomas.
Terry Thomas is maybe the most British person I've ever seen. Every movie I've seen him in, I like him. He was in The Vault of Horror from like 72. Yes, okay. But yeah, he's tremendous. I like him in everything I've seen him.
Is this who was the other? There was another actor. Maybe that was Tales from the Crypt I'm thinking of. There was another actor who was in one of the... I mean, you were going to run into it across the board, but there was another actor who was like a main character of a film who ended up being...
I think you're thinking of Madhouse, and he was in Tales from the Crypt, I believe. But I don't.
I think it's the other one, Theater of Blood, and I think it's the doctor who's going to get the two blades in his eyeballs at the end in that crazy contraption.
Yeah, the little car that's running him down.
What a great movie!
True.
But he was, I think, in one of the original Tales from the Crypt.
Probably.
But there's so much. There's like this is the shared Vincent Price universe.
Oh yeah, the VCU.
That's right. He is this Randy Dr. Longstreet.
Mm-hmm.
He is watching like a snake dance on an old like projector.
Well, it's funny because before that, his maid is like, "I'm going to go out for the night." He's like, "Oh, good."
Yeah.
And she's
I know
like,
what I'm gonna do.
She's like, "I'll be back by midnight." He's like, "Take your time, don't worry about it." And then it just cuts to him watching this snuff film in his study.
Yes, and he's like, he's getting real excited, and then his like, is it his maid or his wife shows back up, and she's like, "What is this?" And it's kind of a comedic scene.
Yeah,
where he keeps thinking that she saw him watching this movie.
And he's gulping brandy down.
Yes.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm sure it's done for the effect, but he's got to turn the crank for this movie projector to work. And he's just like sweatily turning the crank and gulping down brandy.
And then he looks over and Volvania is there.
Yeah.
And she comes up and he thinks it's some part of the, his fantasies have come true.
And Volnavia is a very fetching young lady. Yes. So he's beside himself.
And so then he sits down, and then I didn't really catch what happened. I think I missed it, but what ends up happening is Vincent Price then appears.
And they just stab his vein and start taking his blood.
And then they start taking his blood. Yeah. And then he's alive during the whole thing. And then eventually they find it's just like crisp white corpse drained of all its blood.
And I want to point something out, too. It doesn't have anything to do with the podcast, but you and I talked in just, in our lives. I have just recently watched The Exorcist 3.
Yes, correct.
And there is a scene in that movie, and one of the things that happens is somebody gets all of their blood extracted, and it's just left on a shelf in the room.
I need to rewatch that movie because I remember is that the preacher's death?
I think so. Yes, it is. It's George C. Scott's friend.
Yes.
And it reminded me of this, where it's like, oh, well, look at that.
That's, I don't know there must be a fear linked to that of like having all your blood run out of your body.
Yeah.
Because it seems to appear in media. So now we get to, I guess, the protagonist? I don't know. It's just...
I guess our hero is Trout, yeah.
So Inspector Trout is of Scotland Yard, and he's investigating the murder of these doctors. I said he's trying to solve the crime by interviewing what are only bumbling... Come on, kitty. Get out of here. We love you, but goodbye. So he's trying to solve the crime by only interviewing... bumbling and befuddling ding-dongs.
Yes.
He's just like...
I guess, and I guess he's not the hero. I think Dr. Vesalius is probably the hero. I think Trout is the comic relief.
Vesalius or Vesalius?
Vesalius, yeah.
So, I guess he would be. But, so I don't know. But Trout is interviewing... If he is really he just wants to come up here so bad. My cat is attacking Adam. He's one of those cats, if you pet, he'll meow at you and then you pet him and that's what he wants. And then he'll meow at you again because he just can't get enough.
I think we got a little meow on the pod.
Yeah, I think he just really wants those pets. We call him our chubby bunny.
There's a scene when they're investigating the Dunwoody case, the doctor who got attacked by bats. Trout is Inspector Trout's in there, and his guys are in there as well. He's got a right hand man, and I don't remember the guy's name.
Yeah, I don't remember it off the top of my head. But yeah,
there's a shot where Inspector Trout is talking to his right hand man, and it kind of it's just off in the corner, and they never go into it. But there's a cop laying on top of the bookshelf dusting.
Okay.
For, I guess, fingerprints.
Yes.
But it's just, it's ridiculous. It's just this funny little addition.
It's and I appreciated that, because these tend to be, especially these older films, these are kind of the more boring sections where you just have, it's just like exposition to explain why the more interesting character is doing what they're doing.
Yep.
So I appreciate the little like comedic things in there. But yeah, these scenes really are, right up until they go to like the Phibes mausoleum. These scenes are pretty much Trout going, "What's going on here?" and somebody else going, "I don't know." And then, but there's a full scene of that.
Yeah, like they're about to take Dunwoody's body out, and they don't have a cover, and he's like, "Don't take him out like that!" Like he just, he has to tell his bumbling underlings to cover the body.
Yeah, there's just a lot of it's just a lot of
it lightens up
dorks.
the murders.
Yeah,
I guess. We should also point out that off screen before the movie starts, I guess, a Dr. Thornton got stung to death by bees. So that's one of the curses as well.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
They talked about it a little bit, but they never showed anything about it.
I want to see that. Oh, they couldn't afford the bee.
Maybe they'll make
bee budget.
Maybe with the VCU, they'll make a standalone Dr. Thornton movie.
Whoa, like a prequel?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's an hour and a half of him being stung by bees.
That's all it is. Yep. He's just like,
what's the setting? It's a field full of bees. What's the conflict? Bees. Characters? The doctor and some bees.
He had just purchased honey, and he's very clumsy. He dropped the jars on the ground, and they got all over his shoes.
Now that's a movie.
Bees don't eat honey, do they?
I think they make. Yeah.
Okay.
Are they attracted to it? No,
you know what?
Are they?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, excuse me, I should say, my daughter dropped Pepsi yesterday when we were talking out on the table, and then there's suddenly bees. Yeah. So maybe they do.
Yeah.
They're like, ooh, that thing I make.
Yeah.
Here, I'm here for it.
But Coke wards them off.
It does. It's like garlic to a vampire.
Yep.
Here we're given some indication that Price, what his motives are. We watch him use a phonograph, and he takes this kind of cord to connect to his neck to then...
Dr. Phibes, yeah.
Yes, Dr. Phibes, to give some exposition.
Yeah.
And he states, "My love, sweet queen and noble wife, I alone remain to bring delivery of your pain. Severed, my darling, too quickly from this life. Of fires drawn and memories met, I shall hold our two hearts again in single time." He then states, 9 killed you, 9 shall die and be returned your loss 9 times 9. Which I thought he meant 9 times 9, which I was like, that's
81 deaths, yeah.
9 killed you, 9 shall die, 9 eternities in doom.
So yeah, he has a little speaker box that he speaks through his neck, and apparently he overdubbed all of his lines in this movie. But yeah, just the way that his kind of throat moves up and down. I mean,
that's what I was going to point out.
Interesting, he just basically moved his neck through the entire movie to talk.
Can we say, is there another actor who has done as splendid neck acting as Vincent Price?
I would say no.
I thought it was interesting. And I read some trivia that they painted his face in some kind of chemical thing, or some kind of, not a chemical, but like I don't know if it's like a latex or they wouldn't have really.
Oh, like a hardener almost.
So it was more difficult for him to move his face, because there is something eerie about his. It does look like a mask. It has like a shine to it, and I think they do a really good job with that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's offset by the most atrocious wig of all time, but it's also, the face looks cool.
Yeah,
and then his neck movements are just it's like when he's talking, his neck's kind of like bulging and moving, and so I think that's cool.
It's off-putting.
It is. I just, it's only, the reason is because of the movie, but I hope that one day somebody wrongs me so much that I go and sit in front of a mirror and I just start loudly talking about how I'm going to get them back. And I will do everything I can to destroy them. I've never done that. I don't know why does he need a phonograph?
Yeah, he's not talking to anybody, really. And it seems like he can communicate with Volnavia without speaking very much.
And then at the end, we'll get to it, but at the end when the doctor's there and he's lugging this phonograph around to yell at him.
I didn't even think about that.
It's such an odd choice. I love it, but it's just like this. And because it's like, this is a vintage flick. There's no like, he doesn't have some kind of like cool technological thing that allows him to speak.
Yeah.
There's no easy way. He has to drag this, like, I don't even know. It's like a little table with a phonograph on it. It's like, don't walk away from me. If you step out of earshot, I can't talk to you.
Or, if he like was too close to another like speaker, he could feedback,
That's how you combat Dr. Phibes. You bring another speaker into the room. It's after this. So after he's kind of stated his purpose, we cut back to Trout, who's discovered a necklace, I believe, in the Dr. Longstreet room.
He dropped it.
And he goes like, "Oh, we found this necklace," and then it immediately cuts back to Phibes checking his pockets.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh shit, I don't have it." It was a great cut,
and then it cuts right back to Dr. Trout.
Yep.
Yeah, really, really good stuff.
I like that too.
So now we get to he starts interviewing Dr. Vesalius, who has his like toy train set up and is kind of being aloof until they point out, "Hey, all these other doctors you worked with are dead." Your colleagues?
He's there with his son. Vesalius is there with his son, and they're working on
his son, Lem. Is that what his name is? Lem, I think?
Believe so, yeah.
And then we get the explanation that they're trying to connect this to Dr. Phibes. Not so much that Dr. Phibes did it, but that the only connection is Dr. Phibes, but Dr. Phibes has been dead.
Well, his wife died under the knife with all. So Vesalius, and again, I don't know if it's in this scene or later, but Vesalius realizes that there was only one case or one, I don't know how you put that in medical terms, but there was one operation that they all worked on.
Yes.
Like, so Vesalius had worked with all of these doctors in some form, but there was only one time they all worked on the same operation, and it was Mrs. Phibes.
Yes. Okay.
And she lasted 6 minutes on the operating table before she died.
Hold on.
When she died, and so she died, and then Phibes was rushing to see her, I guess, and then he got into a car accident and died.
Yes.
That's what they know.
Yes. That's what, the car accident, I wasn't sure if it was because, he realized his wife had died, therefore he committed.
I think that he got into a car accident because...
But I think I think you're right.
Yeah.
Because he becomes disfigured.
Yes.
Because of the accident.
So they all think that Phibes is dead.
Yes. And so, but then they're trying to link it, I guess, is, thing here is like, well, he's dead, she's dead, but the only connection we have is her. But... Well, regardless, Inspector Trout takes the amulet and he goes to see a rabbi.
He goes to
Hebrew.
Well, the first he takes the amulet to somebody who like talks about, or the person who made it, I think.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, a young lady, a young tall lady came in and had the 10 of them made."
Yeah.
And then they're Hebrew in nature. And so then he goes to the rabbi after that.
Gotcha. And then the rabbi kind of discusses that they're the 10 plagues of Egypt.
So we're on a hedge path.
Yeah. Oh, that's something we didn't touch on, but in discussing this, so the car crash, Trout learns that it's Dr. Anton Phibes, and he was once a famous organist, which explains his theatrical playing in the beginning, and a theologian, which I don't really know. They're like, what is going on?
Yeah.
here?
And then Trout can be like, huh?
What? I don't know anything. So now Trout is, I don't know through hunch or if there is some kind of evidence, but he believes Phibes is still alive because they now know, okay, these doctors are being targeted and they're going to be killed.
Yeah.
There's one that is, I think, just ridiculous.
The worst. I feel like that one's a hedge path where they stop to see if they see Phibes' carriage broken down. They don't realize it's Phibes' carriage.
Yeah.
But then, Volnavia Phibes and Volnavia put like an air conditioner in the guy's carriage.
Yeah. So he pulls this it's like a Back to the Future, like flux capacitor on the back of his car.
Yeah.
And it's got like this big, it must have been an old school air conditioner, right?
Yeah. It plugs it into the engine and then shuts the door, and that's hail.
Yeah, but they go to find the guy's body. It's also funny to me that like a car, the one of the doctors that gets killed that we're talking about, he like pulls off to the side of the road, and then as the driver, is he helping Volnavia?
I think so.
Yeah, is that what it was? And then, but just Price comes out and like gives him a Vulcan neck pinch, and the doctor passes out, and then then he just like puts a air conditioner in the guy's car, which I think is like, thank you. It's a warm name. It's me. The inspector shows up some hours later. There's like a frozen coffee in the car. I don't know. That was the one I'm more so referencing is the unicorn.
Oh, I thought for comedy wise, I think that's one of the funnier ones.
Okay, yeah.
I think Trout opens the door so the guy can walk through, and a unicorn's head screws him to the wall.
Yes, yeah. And then he's like, he must have launched it from catapult,
right?
Holy God.
And all I could think of was where the
Omega Man.
Yes, yeah.
The catapults are a reoccurring theme now in the show.
But within this time frame, too, in a movie, we start to see Inspector Trout's boss, and he is just running Trout down. Like, you can't protect anybody. You know, you're got people dying via unicorn. Like, he's just...
I love that he's also kind of like, he's like, okay, we have this evidence, we're going to do that. He's like, I don't care. Just solve the crime. I'm like, leave me alone.
Not a very good boss.
No. But we also have somewhere in there, we have one of the doctors is a pilot, and he gets in his plane. So as Trout is like chasing him in his car, trying to get him to stop.
Yep.
So that they can put him into protection. He flies off in the sky, and then like
now Phibes is watching from the ground
with like through a telescope.
Yep.
And the guy, rats appear inside the cockpit of the plane.
Yeah.
And then we get all these little like they're little tiny smash cuts of these rats like shooting on stuff. I think it's supposed to be the guy, but it's very close.
But it's like hanging meat somewhere. It's like what this guy's wrists are just like torn wide open before they start.
Wow, he already got through the finger.
Yeah. They're hungry little guys.
They are. They're so hungry.
Yeah.
But then, his plane crashes. He dies, and then Phibes like kind of like it's like a rotating telescope on a tripod. And he kind of just throws it and starts clapping, and it's very endearing.
He likes it. Yeah, I do like how they have. I think they have Trout and Versalius, or maybe just Trout watching, but they keep cutting back and forth from Trout watching to Phibes watching.
Yes,
and it's kind of interesting because, you know, they're both watching for different reasons. Like, obviously, it's like Trout's hoping that he's okay, and Phibes is like, this is exactly what I need to happen. Yeah.
So let me see. So here he says, we cut to Price playing his organ and stating, where can we find two better hemispheres without sharp north, without declining west? My face in thine eye, thine in mine appears, and true plain hearts do in the faces rest. Within 24 hours, my work will be finished, and then, my precious jewel, I will join you in your setting. We shall be reunited forever in a secluded corner of the great Elysian field of the beautiful beyond, which kind of sets us up for toward the end of the film. So, Adam, we had a major meltdown, so we are now recording on my Samsung G-Track Pro. So the audio quality is different or worse, you know? We're not charging anything for this podcast, so. Okay, so Dr. Phibes ends up killing the nurse.
Yes, and I don't know if we already discussed this or not, but basically Volnavia has a...
That was it says the G-Track Pro is now set up and ready to go, so that's good news. We're using it, so.
Do you want to see if it's a...
Yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, Adam, I don't know if you want to, like, explain the nurse deal. But...
So Nurse Allen, basically it feels like it's out of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, but there's a big plastic tube chute that basically there's Brussels sprouts being fed through the chute into a huge pot, and Phibes is QCing the Brussels sprouts. He's this one's no good.
Right.
A bunch in it. But he's boiling these Brussels sprouts to make this broth that locusts apparently cannot get enough of.
It does end up being like it's like a secret of the ooze, like Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, like, you know? I don't know. Like I'm not bragging, but I've made Brussels sprouts. I've never gotten a weird slime out of it. But whatever. He's abominable.
We bake ours, so.
Yeah. So I fry mine and there's no goo. Anyway,
he's abominable.
Anyway, they take. I guess this is where the nurse is.
Yeah,
she's freaking out, and Inspector Trout is again bumbling his way through this, trying to protect her. So, he tells her to, they're at the hospital, and he says, go into this room and get some sleep. And she's like, I don't know how I'm going to sleep. And he's like, just try to get some sleep.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Phibes is upstairs, and he's drawn a full, what did you say?
There's there's a paper, there's like a giant, like a 5'8" paper doll of a naked woman. He lays it on the floor and approximates where she's on out of the bed.
I don't understand.
And basically takes a hand drill and starts drilling a hole in the forehead of the doll.
Yeah.
And then the
hand drill is great though, because it is so loud, and it's like and she's resting, she's napping.
Yeah.
It would be less funny if she was like walking around, but she's like trying to nap, and he's like, "What's the loudest possible thing?" You're like through
quiet room.
So then, once we get there, he then pours the Brussels sprout juice through the ceiling onto her head.
Through a tube.
Yeah. And then it like covers like a light nearby too. And then
he's trying to get his aim, which is, I think, is a nice touch. It's just like, it's not immediately going on to her head. He's kind of like trailing it over until he,
then they just dump like a bunch of like grasshoppers and locusts on her head.
Yeah. So essentially they somehow got 2 huge plastic or glass cases of locusts up into this room above the nurse's quarters as well. And they start feeding the locusts down through the tubes.
Right.
And even the way that Phibes is like flicking the tube, it's taking a long time.
This is, the superior, as we've identified now, the superior theater of blood. This is it's almost reminiscent of that scene where he's, is he extracting blood from, or no, is he cutting the guy's head off in Theater of Blood? And he's like, he asked for the scalpel and all that. Yeah.
They're in that giant trunk that was just found in their room. They're like, we'll get to it tomorrow morning. Yeah.
And I know Vincent Price, when he did Theater of Blood, was like, let's do that one scene from Phibes, but better.
So remind all his material.
So then Trout comes back later with his partner, and they find the nurse, and the locusts have eaten her face.
Yeah, she just got a skull face.
She has skull face.
Yeah.
And so they did that. So then after that, we get the full Dr. Vesalius' son, Lem, is kidnapped.
Yep.
And Phibes calls him from his phonograph / phone and says, I have your son, meet me in my bandstand. And
Come alone. Yep.
Trout tries to hold him back, and Vesalius hits him in the head, knocks him out. And then, they end up going to, Vesalius ends up going to Dr. Phibes' house, his bandstand. And then he gets him through. I think you explained it well on the previous recording that we can't use now. You explained it well, that the whole process there, that he explains what Vesalius needs to do for his son.
Yeah, so do you want me to go through it?
Just go through it.
So essentially, Phibes has set up, he's anesthetized Lem, Vesalius' son. He's laying on a table. Above Lem's head is this device. It's almost looks like a marble toy where you throw a marble in and it would spin down. But it's basically going to leak acid onto the boy's face in 6 minutes.
Yeah.
6 minutes is apropos because that's how long Phibes' wife lasted on the table when the doctors failed her. But essentially, Phibes is also, he's put a key near Lem's heart. So he did a surgery to put a key inside near his heart. So essentially, and he's shackled, the boy is, to this table, which will give him acid face if he doesn't get the key out by his heart. If he doesn't do the surgery and get the key to get him unlocked from his shackles, then in 6 minutes he will get acid put onto his face.
And Phibes loves pouring things from ceilings onto people's faces.
I did that so much better the first time.
I think what I wanted to capture was exactly that. The complexity of what Phibes is doing is
it's so much easier to do it, just like smash the kid.
I kind of wish he would have showed up and Phibes would have just shot him. And just forgo the rest of it. But Phibes says through his phonograph, we pointed out earlier, but he's dragging around this phonograph with him, and he's like, with a knife in your hands, Doctor, I have no faith in your profession. I was told after my crash that I would never speak again. The doctors were, of course, wrong, for as you see and can hear, I've used my knowledge of music and acoustics to recreate my voice. I am really interested if you can hear the cars in the background. So the doctor starts to work, and I thought it was hilarious that as he's working, it's not enough that he's on a timeline. It's not enough that the stakes are extremely high. Dr. Phibes is standing next to him just talking shit.
Yeah, all 6'4" of Dr. Phibes with his phonograph machine in his hand.
Yes.
And he's just like, you're never going to do it.
Yep.
You're never going to do it. Like, he's just like giving him
You
shit.
will not win.
Yeah.
So then the police, Trout arrives and they...
and the acid is beginning to come down.
Yep.
The
Trout gets there, they figure out... Or Dr. Phibes is left at this point and he goes because he's like, I've won...
He goes, he sits down his organ, starts playing again, and then he's lowering into the depths.
And then Trout shows up. They are able to stop the acid from pouring on his son.
Well, they get his son off the table.
Yep.
He completes the surgery, unlocks, and then Volnavia runs into the room. And Volnavia is just like going, she's going ham on the entire place.
He says it's done.
Phibes is like, smash this place up. You know, like the bad guys in Omega Man. They're just trashing the place. But she's just got an axe and she's just like going to town. And then she runs into the room. And then at that moment, the acid comes down like full bore, like a hose.
If I was her, I would just, there's like 100 other places you could go.
Yep.
Run to.
Yep.
You don't have to run in the room specifically set aside for pouring acid. But
and Volnavia was silent through the entire movie, and I can't remember if she screams at the end.
Yeah, she does. There's a scream.
That's the only thing that she's
do they ever get like why she is helping him?
I think it's just a creepy sidekick.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he just like, there's no...
A creepy, beautiful sidekick that talk.
Okay.
You know.
And so then we get to Phibes. I think, does he put the final necklace on himself, the one of darkness?
Darkness. So yeah, he lays himself next to his deceased wife.
In his room. He comes into a room and it turns out so his wife's body is actually embalmed and in that
under
room,
a floor.
Under a floor waiting for them under concrete or cement.
He's got blood being taken out of him with one machine and then embalming fluid immediately going into him at the same time.
Yes.
So
and then the floor like closes on the top of them.
Yep.
And then Trout and them come into the room. They don't know where he is, but he says, the final curse was darkness and that Phibes more or less has done this to himself.
Yep.
And then the credits roll. The movie is over.
And somewhere over the rainbow plays.
Yeah. What do you think? Why do you think that is?
Somewhere over the rainbow?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's kind of...
It was Dr. Phibes' favorite song?
Maybe it was his favorite. I was going to say his favorite movie, but I don't know if it would have... No, it wouldn't have been made yet.
Yeah. He's just really fond of that song.
Yeah.
He loves Somewhere.
I don't know.
Well, there is that line where he says... My favorite song is Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Yeah.
So, and it's weird. There's no reason for that.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to this film, Adam? Anything we didn't cover? I'm going to have to go through and figure out what's workable and what's not. So we might have missed a few things here and there. But
obviously it's just, it's one of those, each of these people will die in a different way. And, it's interesting.
One of those old shticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we hit on enough how much I feel like the Inspector Trout character helped the movie.
Yeah.
I think the juxtaposition of him being kind of this bumbling, funny character with all this other stuff going on. I don't know. It was a nice lighten up. Not that the horror aspects were that bad.
Yeah.
But
I always wonder with movies like this, if that's even, were these movies like terrifying when they came out or was it just how we reacted? Like, oh, okay.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. I think that probably the horror aspects were like, at least they were like, oh, gross.
Oh, more potent.
But yeah. Hard to say.
Oh yeah, because we didn't even say, but Dr. Phibes like pulls his face off.
Oh yeah.
And he's like burned. He's got like a weird burned face.
Yeah. Yeah. I think his masked face is scarier.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think it's so weird and
it's sort of House of Wax. Like he kind of has the same face from House of Wax.
Oh no, that's definitely a movie we have to do.
Yeah.
But Uncanny Valley, like you can't like it just has an odd look to it. Okay, well why don't we take a break right now and then when we come back we'll do our trivia and kind of final summation of the film of the Abominable Dr. Phibes. So yeah, we'll be right back. Say welcome back to Forgotten Frights. I'm Josh. I'm sitting here with Adam.
Hey.
And we are just about to do the trivia. There have never been so many cars driving down my road. And we had just started using a different microphone
out there.
We're using a different microphone because we had some technical issues, and now I've never noticed how many cars are driving down my road. And we live on the middle of
There's
nowhere.
the Rotary Club. Hi.
So we, Adam, we're going to be doing the trivia game for Dr. Phibes. I have 5 questions here, true and false. Just over some anywhere from very pretty obvious trivia to more obscure. Are you ready to take the test?
I am ready for the test.
I know you want to do a podcast, and you also love assessments. So
yeah, 5 out of 5, baby.
Okay. All right. Number 1, Dr. Phibes was always intended to be a sympathetic character to subvert viewer expectations due to the many similar horror films of the time. True or false?
I mean, I don't know if I really think that he's too much. I mean, I don't know if he's framed as a sympathetic character too much in this movie. I'm going to say false.
It is false. So in the film's original script, Phibes was abusive to Volnavia.
Oh, man.
Eventually stabbing her to death, get this, Adam, and then escaping his house, which was to catch fire.
Boy, they probably had to fight him on that one.
Vincent Price is like, I know how this movie needs to end, and it involves me, fire, and a house.
Yeah. He calls a meeting and everybody's rolling their eyes because they're like, we already know. He's like, okay, I got this great idea.
We know what
at the end of the movie. Like,
but check this out. He escapes the house and then he gets into a hot air balloon with his wife's body and they fly away. And it was decided that Phibes should be more sympathetic. And so those scenes were cut.
Wait, a hot air balloon?
Yeah.
And then they played Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
That makes way more sense.
Whoa.
How insane would that be? And he's his burned face. He's in a hot air balloon. He's got his dead wife with him. Somewhere Over the Rainbow is playing, and he goes like over a hill
instead of
slow motion.
Instead of sandbags on the hot air balloon, they're just dead munchkins.
That's awesome. It's like 2 dripping things of like acid because
15 years before the movie ever comes out.
All right, you ready for number 2?
Yep.
Number 2, Vincent Price and actor Joseph Cotten were a little catty with each other on set.
Catty meaning?
Throwing jabs.
Oh, so they were like, I'm going to say true because I think Joseph Cotten, I mean, I don't know how he felt, but I know that like Joseph Cotten was like in Citizen Kane or Touch of Evil or something like, so I think that
I know they worked together previously, but I think it was for like television.
Sure.
But I think it seems like I had a couple conflicting things. It seems like they got along, but sometimes it was like this or that. I just like this, the piece of trivia. Joseph Cotten would grumble on the film set that he had to remember and deliver his lines. And these are from IMDb. But while Vincent Price's were all post-dubbed, and then Price would respond, "Yes, but I still know them, Joe."
Oh,
his lines.
I just wondered if Joseph Cotten was kind of a highfalutin, like a bigger act. Maybe he thought more of himself. Whereas I think it feels like Vincent Price always he took pride in what he did, but I don't think he took himself super serious.
This says there's like it's well known that Price could like memorize all of his characters' lines in a given production and never really struggled with that. And then something to the effect that Cotten was uncomfortable during most of his scenes, and so Price would make like funny faces at him and try to get him to laugh.
Nice.
So I don't know what that. He's like 3 Stooges. I don't know what the deal is there. So 2 for 2, Adam. Number 3, the scene in which a doctor pilot is killed by hungry rats aboard the plane was originally intended to be on a boat.
I'm going to say false because I like the whole flies, but not using flies.
So this is actually true.
Nice.
The rat curse in the film was originally intended to take place on a boat.
Oh, it was supposed to be a boat.
But Robert Fuest changed it to inside a plane as he felt the boat could have been escaped from.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. I like the fact that the curse was flies.
I think it makes more sense.
And the guy was flying.
Yeah. I think that makes sense. I don't think they thought about that at all.
No, I think
that was even something
connecting
across
dots out there. Yeah.
Number 4, Volnavia was intended to also be a mask-wearing psychopath.
False.
That is false. So Volnavia, hold on, I'm going to fix that right there. Stop it. So writer William Goldstein had said that Volnavia was originally meant to be another clockwork device.
Well, that would have been cool.
That's what I thought. Yeah. And she'd have a wind-up key in her neck. And believing that Phibes needed a more mobile assistant, I don't know what that means, director Robert Fuest made her human, but retained the blank facial expression and mechanical movements. So I don't know why you wouldn't just double down at that point and say...
It would have been way more shocking if it would have been like a like a Lance Henriksen, like just to rip apart, like just like that milk stuff coming out of her mouth.
So Lem Phibes would be like, if you don't get to lemon time. If you don't get to Lem in time, Volnavia is going to take a rolled up magazine and shove it into his mouth.
yes,
So he's dead.
Yeah.
Number 5, your last one. So what are you're doing?
3 for 4, right?
3 out of 4. So this would be okay. Number 5. Peter Cushing was originally intended to be Dr. Vesalius.
I'm going to say true because that's a good idea.
Yeah, and it was true. So Peter Cushing was attached to this film, but declined due to his wife's poor health. Now, the other thing about that is if he would have been in the film, that actually would have upset the fact that Vincent Price and Peter Cushing's, I believe, only screen role together was Madhouse. So they would have had 2 films together.
Nice.
But they didn't because his wife.
Right.
So, Adam, you're 4 out of 5.
Nice.
That might be, is that the best you've done on trivia? That might
I feel like, yeah.
And I don't know if I've ever gone 4 for, maybe I've done 1 4 for 5.
I think, yeah.
I wanted to just add kind of a gaff section just to see how this goes, just kind of like some mistakes. Because a lot of these older films now have been so like parsed by viewers that there's lots of little mistakes here and there. So we discussed this earlier. The bat scene in the film's first murder are fruit bats. Those are flying foxes. They would never eat flesh. They eat fruits or lick nectar from flowers. They are flying foxes. Then apparently in that scene, there's also some bats on wires you can see. I didn't really notice, but I'm not surprised.
I'd like to say that I remember that, but I've seen so many movies with bad bats that,
yeah. So this one I just thought was interesting. The 10 plagues of Egypt are wrongly depicted both in order of appearance and what they actually were. According to the book of Exodus, the 10 plagues were 1, water to blood, 2, frogs, 3, gnats, 4, flies. So we know that kind of they switched those out.
Gnats and flies.
Yeah, so I don't know. First you're annoyed, then you're really annoyed. 5, pestilence upon the beasts of Egypt. That's the unicorn impaling somebody, apparently.
Yeah.
Boils. Hail. 8 is locusts. 9 is darkness. And 10 is the death of the firstborn.
Hail.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Just hail.
I just the
It's
way
gonna get
they
cold.
did that one, I just did.
Yeah, there's like a frosted man.
I don't know.
The correct names are written in Hebrew, but the rabbi reads pestilence as bats and gnats as rats.
He's having a hard time reading pestilence. It's bats.
Yeah. The first and second plagues on the scroll are moved down to be the 5th and 6th plagues. Finally, the rabbi incorrectly reads the plagues from left to right instead of right to left as normal for Hebrew.
Oh, yeah.
Thus changing the order of the plagues even more so.
Mm.
I mean, they might as well not use the plagues. They were so messed up.
Yeah.
Here's 10 things that are going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
The Dr. Phibes way. Then the Dr. Phibes Clockwork Wizards play One for My Baby and One for the Road by Sinatra. The song was written in 1943, but the movie does take place in 1920. So,
right. I wonder when Somewhere Over the Rainbow was written. Well, for real, I think the movie came out in like 32.
Was it written for? It wasn't written for Wizard of Oz.
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. It's Dr. Phibes flying away in a hot air balloon, but he's with the Cowardly Lion and the Tin Man as they go over. What a weird ending. Okay, so that's what I've got. Really just getting into likes and dislikes, Adam. Do you want to start us off with, we can either do, I guess we could do, what do they call that, back and forth, not round robin, but we can either go likes and then dislikes.
I'll start with, and
then, also, I would like to just tag on the very end of that. What I'd like to start doing is like best moment or best death.
Oh, yeah.
Something you really, the thing that stuck out for you in the film. So likes, dislikes, and like best death, I guess.
My likes of the movie is, anytime they were in the theater area. I don't know what that place was, like the Clockwork. I just keep calling it bandstand. Bandstand, the lair, his lair.
I would like to know if you walked out a door, what that would look like. What's in the next room?
Just a little kitchen.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, there was another scene where like a drapery kind of dropped and it looked like a party setting, and then Volnavia and Phibes were dancing in there. Anything like that, especially if it's shot well, I think I like it.
Yeah.
I'm attracted to those things in those types of movies. I really liked Inspector Trout, I thought he was a great addition, and his cohorts. Just the bumbling police department was cool. It was funny. And then, I think we spoke about it earlier in the movie. It's like the fact that this is kind of not as good version of Theater of Blood, but it's still something that, I dig it. I like those. I like the fact that it's just like after the first couple of kills, you're like, oh, okay, so they're just going to keep doing this. And that's,
I know what they're doing here.
Yeah.
Do you want me to go with my likes?
Yeah, go ahead.
So Vincent Price does really well with moving his neck and voice-like movements.
Great neck.
I thought that his neck work was fantastic. And like you, I said the deaths are really fun. I think it's, it's watching them unfold. It's kind of like, what's going on here? And then you have to think about like just the weirdness of them and like, how did he pull that off?
The logistics
are so strange. But I evoked it here. It's why I loved Theater of Blood. And theme deaths are really cool. Yeah. I really wish there would have been a film where Vincent Price, just do this again, but just do deaths from Vincent Price. Like there's a killer hounding him and only do deaths from his films. I think that would be really fun. And also like Phibes' den is really cool and strange, and his motivations are like simplistic and clear. And I really love that about the writing here. I know that last kill, the last attempted curse was really convoluted. Like here's a key next to his heart. You have to do this. But it's very clear what he is doing. Doctors wronged me. I'm going to kill them. And then I'm going to intern myself with my wife. It's like very like, there's no like, oh, what was he? I don't understand the motivation. Like, I get that.
Yeah.
And then there's just the weirdness built on top of that. The fact that he's wearing a mask of his former self.
Yep.
And then the way he's executing these weird murders,
The decal on his car.
Yeah, his car.
It's
like,
so
it's just
strange.
I think it's almost like it just seems to be a forgotten thing now in films, is like, just keep the premise very simple and put a bunch of weird shit on top.
Don't take yourself so seriously.
Yeah.
Like I feel like with this movie, it's not even I wouldn't say it's a dislike, but it's like it's just a series of things that are happening.
Yeah,
like
I love that.
When we're talking about this movie as a through line, it's hard for me to remember when the inspector is talking, when the inspector scenes are in between the kills, because it's just more like I'm just watching all of the kills and how they happen. And then, there's some funny stuff that happens, but it's really hard to remember how and when all of these things take place. So it's a little disjointed in that way, maybe. Yeah,
I guess I should say too that like while it's pretty clear like what he's doing, I think explaining the movie is very like, what was the
yeah.
But I think that's because of the weirdness, and I think it's a clear premise to me, and then the execution. But it should be allowed to. You should allow films that are that simple. The execution should be like, just crazy. And that's okay. That's what this movie did, and I like that.
And I understand why he had to be able to speak in a couple of parts, but you pointed out the fact that he was speaking to nobody in the one scene, but they had to set that up so that when he brought that big clunky box in and it was like just trashing Joe Cotten, he's just like, I can talk.
It should have been a backpack or something. That he's got this phonograph on it.
They're just huge. Just radiation emanating off of it. The back of his head's all weird.
Absolutely. Dislikes. You want me to take those?
I think my only dislike really is just the fact that it's a little disjointed.
Yeah. The investigator plot, that happens so much in these movies. Can you think of a different way to execute that? Do we even need that much? Dr. Phibes is the cool part. Is what everybody wants. Do we need the extra just to be like, hey, all this cool stuff you like about the movie? We're actually going to step over here and look through this window at like the most boring thing you've ever seen. To then get back to the cool part. Like, just stay on the cool part.
Yeah.
And then Inspector Trout can be in the background.
Right.
You can see him walking through and doing the same thing.
Yeah.
But you don't need that.
Yeah.
And then I felt like if this is a horror comedy, the jokes then are corny and slapstick and just kind of, it felt like something like they got done with the movie and they're like, what if we added jokes? And then they were like trying to like weave that through. It just doesn't need, Theater of Blood was funnier.
Yes.
And that was done in such a way that we didn't have to have a discussion about what is a horror comedy. It just was there.
Yeah.
Where this is like, I have to bring it up because I don't, why are you pushing that? That doesn't seem like this is what the genre is.
Right.
It's not like he slipped on a banana peel and, landed on a dead body.
For example, in the scene where the guy gets all of his blood removed, it's like there's this big comedic thing where he's going to watch this snuff film while his maid's out.
Yeah.
But then he gets all of his blood taken out of his body. Like, there's nothing funny about that.
Yeah.
At all.
Because this movie, you could look at this movie as playing out exactly as it did. Do you need to then go say this is a horror comedy? I guess I don't know why they advertised it as such.
I don't know.
Because those scenes aren't like funny. I'm not like,
I'm not busting a gun.
Yeah. It's like, it's like any other movie. It's just, it adds a little bit of flavor, which is fine. Do we,
right.
A horror comedy is something where it's like, there are overt jokes and that's just not really here.
It's almost like somebody was insecure and they pulled a Tommy Wiseau when it's like, no, it was always meant to be a comedy. It's like, no, you're a liar.
Yeah.
That's not true.
No, it's not. You're a liar.
You put your passion into this and it sucks. And now you feel bad.
What do you think is the best death? We discussed this a little, maybe just best moment of the film. What
the best moment of the film? I kind of really like the beginning where you first meet Phibes and he's playing the organ, and then he switches on the band and you meet Volnavia. Like that whole, it's very elegant, it's very over the top. But yeah, there's a lot of good scenes in this movie. But yeah, I think any part where it's Vincent Price, I think maybe on top of that, where he realizes he doesn't have the necklace anymore, just that quick pan is great. He's like, oh, he dropped the necklace. Pan to Vincent Price. Oh, I haven't lost the necklace.
That's the comedic stuff I'm talking about, where it's like they did that. That would be such a funny joke.
Yes.
But even the way they did it doesn't seem like it's a joke.
Right.
It just like cuts to him and he's like, oh.
He's like checking his pockets. Yeah. Like, oh, what did I do with it?
I thought the frog mask. I think the frog mask.
Yeah,
I love that kill. I love that they put it in a POV because I don't think they ever do. Do they even do that again? I think it's just his POV that one point in the movie.
Yeah,
it's just and also just a kind of a creative kill. Just have a mask like crush somebody's head on the inside.
He did say something before he got the mask on too, or right before he put the mask on. He said something about a head shrinker.
Oh, okay,
so it was just
haha.
Yeah.
Just put the mask on and shoot him in the gut. That's what I think.
Just punch him really hard.
Gotcha. Yeah. Anything you want to add to the Abominable Dr. Phibes?
I have not seen the sequel in a long time, and I'm anxious to see how that one goes because I don't remember if it's the same. I can't imagine it's the same layout, but maybe it is.
Yeah, maybe it's an Evil Dead scenario, and they just recap. The first half of the film is a recap of the first one.
Maybe he was wrong about all these doctors, and he's like, oh, it was these other 10 guys.
Yeah,
like, he does it again.
Yeah, what would he use other than plagues? Just like maybe it's 7.
Oh no.
Yeah, that's it for this episode of Forgotten Frights. We've got another episode lined up, and it sounds like November and December should be pretty interesting for movie picks, so I'm looking forward to those. Other than that, good night and good fright.